Sorry this video is in a different format. It was just me in the live session today, so I waited around for a bit, and totally okay. I understand that people have a lot going on and there's different time commitments, so I decided to just make the recording a little bit later. As always, message me if you have questions or concerns about what I'm doing. I'll be happy to address them. I hope everything went okay with the midterm. That was our first time using Respondus Lockdown Browser. If you had any issues, a couple of students did, message me. We'll try to figure something out for you. Grades are not updated as of this moment, but maybe by the time you're watching this video, grades will be updated in SIS. Okay, so question 1 here. We're moving into chapter 5 of our textbook. Question 1, question 2. The first questions are just helping us practice the skills of algebra. Because we're going to need to be able to do this so that we can apply them in word problems. When we make the equations in word problems, we'll want to know how to finish solving them. So this first one, d minus 38 equals 40. We want to get rid of the minus 38. So we're going to do the opposite of minus. We're going to add 38. Okay, and that's perfectly fine to do as long as you do it to both sides of the equal sign. Right? It's like this is our dividing line. You have to add 38 to both sides. So if you do that, you get d equals, there's our division, not a division line, sorry. Just making a line to show that we're making some steps. D equals 78. And you just have to plug that into both boxes here. Okay, so it's just me, obviously, but if you have trouble, definitely pause the recording, but you can message me too through the Cengage app, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So we got z over 3 equals 85. This is z divided by 3. So to undo division, multiplication is our tool. Multiplying and dividing are opposites. So multiplying once on each side of the equals sign. So when you do that, these cancel out, leaves you with z, and that equals 85 times 3. So z is going to be 255 for this question. And then you just plug the same thing in there. This one we just have to kind of combine those two steps. First step you should do in this one to make your life easy is subtract 37 from both sides. Because if you do that, that leaves you with the r divided by 5. That should equal 80 subtracted by 37. That's 43. And then to get r by itself, you got to multiply 5 to both sides. So r is going to equal 43 times 5. Makes 215. Okay, and that's just what goes in these blanks here. So kind of combining both steps. This one usually gets a couple of questions each semester. First thing you have to do is get the c's together. Okay, there's a c on the left and there's two c's on the right. So we can make this c disappear by adding 2c to both sides. So if you do that, 1c plus 2c's makes 3c's. And then we're trying to get c by itself. So let's subtract 6 from both sides. So 3c equals 24 subtracted by 6. 3c makes 18. And then we're still trying to get c by itself. So if a number is next to a letter, that means it's multiplying. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. Oh, that changed to red, but that's okay. We get c equals 18 divided by 3, because the 3's are gone, right? So 18 divided by 3 gives us 6. That's what goes here in all these boxes. Okay, so let's practice those algebra skills. Question 5. They want you to underline the keywords. The keywords they're looking for are the words that tell you to do some mathematics. So times, divided by, those are things that tell us to punch something in a calculator. So that's what you've got to underline. And to translate this to an expression, what you should type in is 6 And then I think you should be able to just write the letter G, then put a slash, and put an R, because that slash means division. And I think what will happen is it'll automatically format it to look like this. My 6 and my G's look way too similar. Whoa, okay. That's better. And that's perfectly fine. This says 6 times G divided by R. Or you could use the times symbol that I think will pop up when you start typing something. Same type of thing here. Underline the keywords. Times is the keyword, so it comes up twice. So you got to underline it twice. So you should be able to type it in just as it is. Or the more conventional way is to write it like this. We usually put the number out front. And we can do that because the order we multiply in doesn't matter. Right? 1 times 2 times 3 is the same thing as 3 times 1 times 2. You can switch up the order. So either one of those should be okay. And by the way, if you get any of these marked wrong, I'm going to give you credit when I transfer the grade over, because I'm not a big fan of these questions. They're kind of important, but they're also kind of being particular. Like on this question 7, I'm pretty sure they want you to underline... Oh man, I don't even remember. I mean, these are all important. The keywords. A number is a keyword because that means X. Increase by, that's a keyword because that means we're doing some addition. I don't think they want you to underline is, though. I think is a keyword because it means we have to put an equal sign. This is what I would pick, but there's something in my intuition that's telling me it's wrong. If you get it wrong, please just skip 7, okay? Because it's being too fussy here. Like, a number is important. That means X. Increase by, that is important because that's telling to add. Is important because it's telling you it's an equal symbol. So that's what I would pick if it was up to me. I don't think that it marks that as correct. Don't worry, I'll transfer over a higher grade when I look at your grades next week. Okay. Same thing with this one. Maybe I'll just go in and remove these two. Same thing with this one. Okay. We're going to get rid of this question. It's the same type of thing. Like times is a keyword. The sum is a keyword. But don't worry about question 8. Okay. You can just get it wrong. I'll take care of your grade for you. This is more important, though. The translating a problem into an equation. Trying to take a type of potential real-world situation, making it into an equation. An online store sells 2 types of speaker docks. The higher-priced speaker dock sells for $170, and the lower-priced speaker dock sells for $90. And last week, the store sold 4 times as many lower-priced speaker docks as higher-priced speaker docks. Combined sales, $4,770. How many lower-priced speaker docks did it sell? There's a lot of words there, so there's a lot to try to translate. But the big idea that we want to focus on is we're looking for the number of lower-priced speaker docks. We want to know how many of those they sold. So what we can do is what I just did off to the side here. We'll let L stand for the number of lower-priced speaker docks, and H will stand for the number of higher-priced speaker docks. It's just shorthand for all those words. Okay, L is the number of lower-priced speaker docks. H is the number of higher-priced speaker docks. So let's check out this equation here. This sentence. The higher-priced speaker docks sell for $170, and the lower-priced speaker docks sell for $90. So we can make an equation based on that information. It's $170 for the higher price speaker docks. I'll change it to red here. And that's $90 for the lower price speaker docks. And that should all equal $4,770, because if you add up the money you made from the higher price speaker docks plus the money you made from the lower price speaker docks, that should make $4,770, like they said at the end there. Okay, so if you're not sure where that equation comes from, you'll want to look at it for a bit. Try to plug in some numbers. Like if there was 2 higher price speaker docks, 1 lower price speaker dock, you'd plug those in. That'd calculate how much money you've made so far. We can make another equation here. The store sold 4 times as many lower price speaker docks as higher price speaker docks. So that equation looks like this. Right? The number of lower price speaker docks is 4 times the number of higher price speaker docks. That way, like if H is 1, if there's 1 higher price speaker dock, then L is 4. If H is 2, L is 8, etc., etc. Okay, so we made two equations based on what we were given. This is part of the red equation. So now check out what I'm about to do in this next step. Okay, instead of L, I wrote 4H. Because that's what L is. L is 4 times H. So I replaced the letter L with 4H. Now this red equation became something I can solve because everything is in terms of H. We got 170H here, and then 90 times 4, 360H. That equals 4,770. They're both H's, so they can combine. That makes 530H. And then to get H by itself, got to divide 530 from both sides. So H is 9. There were 9 higher price speaker docks. And so to find the lower price speaker docks, it's real quick, right? If there's 9 higher price speaker docks, then 4 times 9 is the number of lower price speaker docks, because there's 4 times as many. Okay, so definitely pause the recording as you go through this question. Take it just one step at a time, but replace my numbers with your numbers, and as long as you keep repeating the same steps, should get to the right solution there. Okay, so question 10 here. Same type of thing for question 10. Company sells regular keyboards, which we'll call R. And then it also sells wireless keyboards, so we'll let those 2 letters happen. So let's make an equation like we did in that last problem. Regular keyboards for $82, wireless keyboards for $115, and they had $5,415 in sales. So 82 times the number of regular keyboards plus $115 times the number of wireless keyboards. That should tell us the total amount of sales. Okay, so there's one equation, but there's 2 different letters. We can't solve until we come up with that second equation and plug it in. Last week the store sold 3 times as many regular keyboards as wireless. So regular is 3 times the number of wireless keyboards. Now we can plug this in like we did with that other equation. Okay. Now that black equation, I'm going to write 82, and instead of R, I'm going to put 3W. Okay, now I can simplify. We got 82 times 3. That's 246W. And then there's 115W equals 5,415. So I just took this equation. It's the same thing, except instead of R, we got 3W. So we can add these together. So it makes 361W. And then we got to divide 361 from both sides to get W by itself. So the number of wireless keyboards, W, is, that makes 15. So that's wireless keyboards, and then the number of regular keyboards is just 3 times the number of wireless keyboards. That's 45. Question 11, you're the administrator of an annual essay contest. There's $64,000 college scholarship that's going between 2 contestants. So the winner receives 3 times as much. So basically we have the money for the winner plus the money for the runner-up. That amount of money equals $64,000. That's how much we have to give. Okay, and then we can simplify that. We can let W be the money for the winner, and R be the money for the runner-up. Now, the winner is 3 times as much as the runner-up. So watch what I do with this equation. Still the same equation, except instead of W, I'm putting 3R, because the winner is 3 times the amount of the runner-up. And so now we have just one letter in our equation. 3R plus 1R makes 4R. And in order to get R by itself there, we just divide both sides by 4. So the number, the amount of money the runner-up gets is 16,000. And the amount the winner gets, they said, was 3 times the amount the runner-up gets. So just multiply that by 3. So $48,000 for the winner. And that makes sense because if you add those together, it makes $64,000. Then question 12, 44-piece set, stainless steel, costs $123.20. We're supposed to find the cost per piece. So the cost for one piece. That's called a unit price. A unit price tells you how much it costs for just one item. And you calculate it by dividing the cost by the number of items. I'll make that bigger. This is how you would calculate a unit price, how much it costs for one item. It's how they calculate those little orange things you see in Walmart, the little orange tags underneath the product, or next to the product price. You divide the total cost for the product by the number of items you get. So there's $123.20, and there are 44 items. So dividing these will tell us how much it costs for just one piece of silverware. So it's $2.80 per piece of silverware. And then same type of thing for question 13, except they say how much does it cost for 2,000 blouses? Well, let's first use this to find out how much it costs for just one blouse. So unit price, a cost divided by amount. So it's $27 per blouse. And so we multiply that times 2,000. So it makes it's going to be $54,000. Okay, so find the unit price. Find out how much it costs for one blouse. Use that formula, the algebraic formula for unit price. And then multiply that to the number of blouses. It's $27 per blouse, so you got 2,000 blouses. Makes $54,000. Question 14, an architect uses a scale of 2/3 inch to represent 1 foot. Usually the way I suggest students think about this one is, look, if the thing is 1 foot across, then your scaled model is just 2/3 of an inch, right? If the thing is 2 feet, then your scale is going to be 2 times 2/3. If the thing is a 3 foot object, then your scale model is going to be 3 times 2/3, because it's 2/3 plus 2/3 plus 2/3. And so if it's 24 feet, it's 24 times 2/3. So in your calculator, you can do that really quickly. Just do 24 times 2, divide 3. So it makes 16 feet. 16 inches. This is now in terms of inches. And then in question 15, we're asked to find out how many ounces would be required to cover 8,000 square feet. So it's kind of like unit price. Let's find out how many ounces it costs us to cover 1 square foot. There's 40 ounces for 1,250 square feet. So that's how we symbolize square feet. And if you divide those in your calculator, 40 divided by 1,250, that's 0.032 ounces per square foot. Okay, that tells us how many ounces we need for just 1 square foot. So to find out how many ounces we need to cover 8,000 square feet, you take the ounces per square foot and multiply it by the 8,000 square feet. Okay, because if you do that, these cancel out, and now it'll give us ounces for our final answer. So it's going to cost us 256 ounces. That's for part A. Okay, for part B, Lazy Lawn costs $1.09 for a 32-ounce bag. So let's find a unit price before we even think about anything else. How much does it cost for 1 ounce? There's it, $1.09 divided by 32 ounces. That's 0. I'm going to take all the decimals with me just to make sure. Copy and paste that. That's dollars per ounce. It's like 3.5 cents per ounce. And so since we have 256 ounces, I don't know where to write that. How about over here? We got 256 ounces. We're going to multiply that by the ounces per the dollars per ounce, and that will tell us how many ounces we have, because the ounce units will cancel out. So take that, multiply by 256, $8.72. So that's how much it costs to fertilize the lawn, $8.72. Then for the problem of the week this week, you're trying to calculate how much you can pay your employees per hour. You want to pay them as much as you can, so that they feel comfortable and they stick around. But at the same time, you got to work within the constraints of the business. So, basically you have $110,000. Okay, but you got to subtract out all the expenses. You got to subtract out your own salary from that before you try to pay the employees. Okay, you got $110,000. You're trying to set aside $40,000 a year for yourself. So you'd subtract those two, okay? This is how much money we're going to take in. We're expecting to take in for the year. Take out the $44,000. Sorry, the $40,000. That's how much more money we have left to play over with the business, okay? And then you're going to have expenses. You get $900 a month, so you're going to multiply that by 12, and then take that away from the $70,000. You have $150 a month. You've got to multiply that by 12 and take it away from whatever's left. Keep taking away all these expenses to find out how much money you have left over to pay your employees. Okay? That's the first step of the problem of the week. Second step here. Alright, I've got it all kind of summarized. Once you found out how much money you have to play with, how much money is left over, let me see how to write this. Okay, so what you want to calculate is the money left over, and that should equal the hours you have to pay your employees for times the dollars per hour. Okay, so this is your variable. This is like X, so you could rewrite it like this. Okay, these are numbers you can plug in based on the information. Okay, you can calculate the money you have left over after your expenses and after your own $40,000 salary. You can calculate the total number of hours for the year for the employees. Okay, because it says down here that the employees, there's 3 of them, so they each work 20 hours a week. So I'm going to multiply that by 20, and then there's 52 weeks in a year. So there's 3,120 hours. That I've given you the number here. 3,120 goes here. So plug in the money left over in here and then solve that equation for X.